What was hidden? The January new moon before Nancy Guthrie went missing. A new moon always represents the beginning of a new lunar cycle. But in the 12th house, that beginning doesn't reveal itself right away. With the new moon in the 12th house of Nancy's solar chart of things that are hidden, it developed quietly behind the curtain. And once that energy was activated, everything else in the chart began to respond. There's another critical layer to this new moon. It wasn't just in Nancy's 12th house. It was activating the T-square configuration in Nancy's natal chart. Nancy Guthrie's sun is in opposition to her Pluto in the 7th house of other people, and both are square her Mars in the 4th house of home, indicating a powerful new cycle on a personal level, a fated event. The January new moon had 4 planets in conjunction in the 12th house, intensifying the energy of that alignment. The new moon was also conjunct Nancy's natal sun, her life force, and was in opposition to her natal Pluto in the 7th house of open enemies. Oppositions indicate conflicts, confrontations, and the me versus thee dynamic. At the same time, the new moon was square to Nancy's natal Mars in the 4th house of home. Mars is the apex of the T-square configuration, showing where that energy will be expressed, signifying tension directly in the home environment, a collision between internal and external forces. It was also trine her natal Saturn-Uranus conjunction in the 4th house of home and family. A trine doesn't resist energy. It flows. Saturn brought structure, Uranus brought disruption, and together they suggest something built with intention but capable of sudden change. And then there's Neptune. The new moon trines Nancy's natal Neptune at 29 degrees Virgo, the same anaretic degree activated by the September new moon eclipse in 2025. This is a reactivation, and this time the energy moves. The new moon in the 12th house of things unseen, conjunct Nancy's sun, her life force, trine her Uranus-Saturn conjunction in the 4th house of home, was also trine to her natal Neptune in the 8th house of transformation and creates what is called a grand trine. A grand trine creates momentum, a go time aspect where something in motion begins to unfold. And at the anaretic degree in the 8th house, this signals urgency and a critical turning point, a cycle moving toward completion. At the same time, a deeper layer is activated. Transiting Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, moving through Nancy's 2nd house, form an opposition to her natal Neptune in the 8th house, the axis of my money and our money. This isn't a passing influence, it's part of a longer cycle, one that began with the September eclipse. Saturn was applying pressure while Neptune was obscuring the truth. Together, they created tension between what was visible and what was hidden, affecting control, stability, and underlying forces. This wasn't a quiet new moon. In forensic astrology, planets represent people involved in an event. Here we have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto, all operating within the 12th house. This points to multiple individuals with activity taking place behind the scenes before anything became visible. The new moon energy remains hidden until the planets begin to move forward. There's an intensity here that is immediately visible and builds over time. Plans form, energy gathers, and the pressure increases until a tipping point is reached. And then one by one, those planets conjunct Pluto before they emerge in Nancy Guthrie's 1st house. Venus is the first to enter the 1st house on January 24th. Venus in Aquarius plans strategically, focusing on people, connections, and how everything fits together in a larger system. It's detached, observant, always aware of the bigger picture. But in the 12th house, that awareness moves behind the scenes, operating beneath the surface where coordination happens out of view. In forensic astrology, Venus is most often indicative of a young female being present, but it can also represent a more feminine or Venusian expression in general. In Aquarius, this symbolism may extend beyond traditional gender roles and sometimes indicates a more unconventional androgynous person. Mercury follows on January 25th. Mercury in Capricorn brings strategy and precision, planning every detail with intention. But in the 12th house, the planning and awareness is all happening behind the scenes, hidden from view until it's ready to surface. In forensic astrology, Mercury indicates two individuals, often reflecting younger or more youthful energy. This occurred the same day as the first quarter moon, a phase associated with action. These dates are significant because they align with the timeline investigators were requesting surveillance footage from January 24th and 25th. The Sun enters the first house on January 26th, bringing illumination. The Sun in Capricorn in the 12th house acts as the architect, a behind-the-scenes authority figure directing events in silence, calculated, controlled, and hidden until the structure is complete. In forensic astrology, the Sun represents a male between 40 to 50 years old. And finally, Mars crosses into Nancy's first house at the same time and day that Nancy Guthrie was abducted. Mars in Capricorn is not impulsive, it's patient, calculated, and strategic, moving with intention rather than reaction. In the 12th house, that energy doesn't play out in the open. It operates, again, behind the scenes, where actions can be planned, controlled, and remain unseen until the moment they surface. In forensic astrology, Mars represents the perpetrator, someone that is aggressive and forceful, the acting party in a situation where anger and conflict are concealed until the exact moment of execution. What was hidden had now fully emerged, and Pluto was transforming everything from behind the curtain, unseen, intensifying. When we step back and look at the full sequence, this isn't a single moment. It's a pattern unfolding in stages. The September eclipse activated, the December new moon intensified it, and the January moon concealed it until everything was ready. A cycle set in motion months earlier, now reaching the point where it could no longer remain hidden, because as the energy unfolds, the planets begin to cross a threshold, moving from the 12th to the first house. So the question isn't just what happened, it's what had already been set in motion long before it could be seen.